sir, why you have prescribed Vipera for that patient?
See, Vipera has very specific entities. What patient has told? Patient has explained that she used to get a very severe edema whenever she travels. What happens during traveling? Whenever they travels, there is a hanging of the limbs. And hanging of the limbs produces a Phlebitis. Hanging of the limbs produces edema in lower extremity. Hanging of the limbs produces severe pain in the lower limbs. Is the very typical characteristic of the Vipera. One should not forget, it is a remedy for Phlebitis. It is the remedy for varicosities. She had a very severe varicosity. And that varicosity was responsible to produce a lower extremity edema, and whenever she used to travel there is always a pressure on the thigh region, and that produces a very much fullness in lower extremity. That fullness itself produces edema that is generally happens because of stasis. What is stasis? Stasis means saturation of the blood, specifically venous blood, in the lower extremities. Vipera has that condition. Vipera is the remedy which has that hemorrhagic diathesis along with action on specifically on veins. It is a remedy which it is a poison basically, and this poison has twofold action. One on the vein and another on the nervous system. Very specific. So it is a German viper, a snake remedy, and snake remedies always have action on vascular system. We know that lachesis is having the action on vascular system, Crotalus horridus is having the action on vascular system. So that is characteristic of all snake remedies. They are having very specific action on veins. At the same time, this Vipera is having very specific action on nervous system. In this patient, it was vascular action which was responsible for me to prescribe the Vipera. But in another case where I used to think about the Vipera is very close to the conium. Like conium, here is also ascending paralysis. Ascending paralysis of Landry, that is what is called as. Or same sentence, if you read the conium, the first sentence is the same, ascending paralysis of Landry. What is ascending paralysis? You're going to get it in Guillain-Barre syndrome. A few months back, there were an epidemic of Guillain-Barre syndrome in Pune, and there were many people who were suffered from it. We have remedies in homeopathy for the Guillain-Barre syndrome, and one of them is Vipera. Another most common remedy which we can think is Conium maculatum. Conium maculatum, the first sentence, if you open the Borixma Dramatica, the first sentence is the same. And here also this remedy is having the paraplegia which happens to be there in lower extremities, and then it starts ascending, affect the upper extremity, then affect the chest. Those are the characteristics which you're going to get in this specific remedy. So this remedy, like other snake remedies, rest of the features are common, but most important feature, the vascular affections, at the same time the neurological affection, which has very specific for this remedy. It also has action on kidneys, it also has action on skin, it also has action on heart directly, producing cardiac dropsy. But characteristics are two. One is Phlebitis and second is neuropathy, ascending paralysis. These are two important things. So it is one of the important remedy for polyneuritis. So that's the reason why I have prescribed this remedy specifically in that case. So lower extremities, when there is a Phlebitis associated with edema, hanging down, aggravates, traveling, whenever patient travels and hangs the limbs down and you used to suffer, there is always a Vipera plays very vital role. And Vipera you can give in for a few doses, repeated doses for day 1 or day 2, and then you can stop. There is no need to continuously repeat. 1 or 2 days is more than sufficient period Vipera to react. and 30 potency is better potency to start with. Later you can increase to 101 but to start with it is always better. Specifically in phlebitis you must use the 30 potency. If you are treating the neuropathy, then you can think about the higher potencies like 1M. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, sir.